Last year, I taught you guys how to install the rtl-sdr drivers for your software-defined radio on Windows 7. This year, I'm going to show you how to fix some of the problems that may have been introduced on Windows 10 to get your software-defined radio up and running properly. If you're interested in software-defined radio or radio communications in general, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Typically, when we install rtl-sdr drivers, we go up to Options in Zadig and List All Devices. From there, we typically select our Bulletin Interface 0, and then select the Replace Driver option to replace the existing pre-installed drivers. With a little editing magic, we can get the driver installed in a few seconds instead of minutes. Generally, we should only install Interface 0, however, oftentimes you'll find that people install Interface 1 as well. This can sometimes cause problems, as when we run RTL tests, you'll see that we get USB Open Error 12, often an error we see when we cannot access the software-defined radio. You'll also see in this case we have two devices. Device 0, which has an invalid serial number, and Device 1, which while listed, is also unable to be accessed. So here's how we fix this on Windows 10. As usual, in Zadig, list all devices, but then go back to Options and uncheck Ignore Composite Parents. For some reason, Windows 10 sees the Realtek chipset in the rtl-sdr as a composite parent. You'll see that this now gives us the option to replace the driver. Go ahead and select Replace Driver. You may get a pop-up warning saying that you are replacing a system device. Go ahead and select Yes and allow the process to continue. Keeping in mind that this process may take a little bit longer than you're typically used to when installing the usual rtl-sdr drivers. Now that we have reinstalled the composite parent for the rtl-sdr driver, we can run the RTL test application again, and you can see we are now correctly seeing a functional software-defined radio, and if we look back up at the top of our screen, we can see it now only sees one SDR instead of two as it did previously. You should now have a functional SDR that you can use in any SDR application that you'd like within Windows 10.